I always believed my family was unbreakable. A safe place. A haven. My father? My hero. My mother? The heart of our home. But everything changed the night I walked into the living room and saw something I was never supposed to see. That moment shattered everything I thought I knew. From the outside, we were the perfect family. But behind closed doors, a secret was waiting, one that would tear our lives apart. This is not just a story, it's a warning. And it all started with a quiet knock, a soft smile, and a feeling I couldn't shake. My name is Nora. I grew up in a little town called Blue Haven, the kind of place where people left their doors unlocked, where neighbors waved and remembered your birthday. And in that picturesque town, I had what many would call the dream family. My father, Henry, was the golden man of Blue Haven. He owned the most successful restaurant in town. Everyone knew his name, and everyone adored him. With his salt and pepper hair, strong build, and easy smile, he seemed like the kind of man who could do no wrong. My mother, Clara, was a high school literature teacher, soft-spoken, graceful, and endlessly patient. She carried herself like the pages of the books she loved, quiet, layered, full of meaning. Together, they made the perfect pair. And me? I was their only daughter. I grew up wrapped in warmth, bedtime stories, family dinners, birthday surprises, the kind of childhood people dream of. My mom would read poetry aloud in the evenings, her voice so gentle it could quiet a storm. And my dad? He made me laugh until my stomach hurt. He was the one who lifted me up on his shoulders during parades, held my hand when I was scared, and taught me to believe I was special. I'd come home from school, toss my backpack aside, and leap into his arms. We had inside jokes, weekend pancake rituals, and long walks where he'd share stories about back in the day. He made me feel like nothing in the world could touch me, like I was his entire world. Looking back now, maybe that's what made everything that followed so much harder to understand. When you place someone on a pedestal, you never think to question the cracks beneath their feet. You never imagine that the person you trust the most might one day become the person who shatters that trust completely. They say change creeps in quietly, like a shadow at sunset, barely noticed until it swallows the light. At first, it was nothing. A pause that lasted a second too long, a hug that felt heavier, a glance I couldn't quite understand. I told myself I was imagining it, that the man I admired, my father, would never make me feel uncomfortable. But something had shifted. I started to notice the way his hands lingered when he brushed my hair away from my face, the silence that settled too thick when it was just the two of us. He'd always been affectionate, warm, open, generous. But this was different. It was in the way he looked at me sometimes. Not as a father admiring his daughter, but like someone trying to remember a dream. I dismissed it again and again. After all, how do you question love that has always been safe? The dinners continued, the laughter, but under the surface, a tension grew. I started to dread the moments we were alone. I hated myself for it, for doubting him, for noticing, for feeling what I felt. Fear, confusion, shame. One evening, I came home from school exhausted. He was on the couch, smiling, arms open. I did what I always did. I curled up beside him. But that day, something felt off. His body was rigid, his arms wrapped around me. But it wasn't the same embrace I remembered from childhood. My heart raced. My instincts screamed. I shifted, trying to make sense of the unease rising in me. And in that moment, something undeniable happened. A boundary was crossed. He didn't say a word, and neither did I. The silence was louder than any scream. I sat frozen, confused. Was it an accident? Was I overreacting? I wanted to run. I wanted to believe it meant nothing. But deep down, I knew something had changed, and I would never see my father or myself the same way again. After that night, everything changed. My world, once filled with warmth and trust, became a maze of doubt and fear. I avoided him. I avoided eye contact, avoided his touch, avoided being in the same room. But he noticed. One evening after dinner, he asked if we could talk. His voice was soft, hesitant. "Just a few minutes," he said. I wanted to say no, but I nodded. We sat across from each other in the living room. The air was thick, almost suffocating. He looked at me, then looked away. And then he spoke. "I think we both know something isn't right," he said. My heart pounded. My hands clenched in my lap. "I never meant to hurt you," he continued. "I don't know how we got here." I stayed silent. The words tangled in my throat. "You're growing up. It's confusing sometimes," he said. That was the moment I found my voice. "No," I said firmly. "This isn't about me growing up. This is about you crossing a line." He froze. The truth hung between us like a blade. "I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable," he whispered. "But you did," I replied. Tears welled up in my eyes. I had spent weeks convincing myself it was nothing. But now, with the truth exposed, there was no going back. "I trusted you," I said. "You were supposed to protect me, not confuse me." He lowered his head. No excuses. No explanations. Just silence. That night, I told my mother everything. Her face went pale. Her hands trembled, but she listened. For the first time, I felt like someone saw me, truly saw me. What followed wasn't easy. There were questions, tears, therapy, separation. But there was also light, because silence had finally broken. And with it, healing began. It's been over a year since that night. Since I chose to speak, since I chose myself. The road to healing hasn't been easy. There are days I still feel broken, when memories creep in uninvited, when I question how I let it happen, or why he let it happen. But then I remember, I was just a girl looking for love and safety, in the arms of someone who should have given it unconditionally. And he was the one who blurred the lines. What happened wasn't my fault. It never was. I've learned that silence protects the wrong people. That guilt grows in the dark. That shame doesn't belong to the one who was hurt. And that healing begins when we speak. So to anyone out there watching, if you've ever felt confused, uncomfortable, if someone close to you has made you feel unsafe, listen to that feeling. Trust your instincts. Speak your truth. You are not alone. Leave a comment if the story touched you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more real stories that matter. Because your voice matters. Your story matters. And above all, you deserve to feel safe.